After beating Dagenham, Wrexham then lose their next game to Stockport County. It's about time they started putting a run of wins together. Oh, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of WrexhamMania, where I bring you all the latest Wrexham news, match reaction and opinions. And what I'm going to do now, to start this episode, I'm going to read the replies to the most recent Wrexham question. The most recent Wrexham question was, which National League team has surprised you the most so far? And a great response on Twitter. Some great guys getting involved. Thomas Wynne Lewis, great guy, works for the Daily Post. Check out his social media. He does lots of great content about Wrexham and Welsh football. Great response. These are some of the reactions to the Wrexham question, which National League team has surprised you the most so far. On Twitter, Wrexham is the name. Twitter account, Dagenham 100%. Chris Finch on Twitter, Halifax, considering they lost some big players in the summer. Richard Williams, the reporter for The Leader, reports on all the Wrexham games. Boreham Wood have surprised me. Thought they might struggle a bit after losing main man to Shamanga to Chesterfield, but had a very good start. And on YouTube, Jordan Cashin, big fan of the show, thought we would be in first place. Obviously a Wrexham fan, thought we would be in first place immediately and never relinquish top spot. Now I don't know if he's being sarcastic there, but I think most Wrexham fans and most football fans in general expected Wrexham to be up there. From the beginning, they were favourites to win the National League, remember? The support they have, the backing, the finances, they were expected to hit the ground running and be at the top immediately. So Jordan, what's happening? We don't know. But thank you for your replies. Great reaction. I couldn't read them all out, but keep an eye out for the next Wrexham question, and thank you for your responses. But going back to the table, if we look at the National League table now, Dagenham and Redbridge are top after 8 games and 19 points. Wrexham are 9th. Wrexham are 9th, 12 points from 8 games. That means they've dropped half their points. They've taken 12 points from a possible 24. We weren't expecting that, really, were we? Chesterfield are second on 18 points. Grimsby Town, who lost last night against Bromley, 17. So there's a few teams up there starting to pull away. Dagenham looking really good. Chesterfield looking good, who Wrexham play on Tuesday. But a few teams pulling away, and we thought Wrexham would be one of them. A very, very inconsistent start. What has happened, we don't know. They're not scoring enough goals. They're not, punishing teams. They're dropping too many points. It's a bit disappointing at the moment. We expected much more. They go to Aldershot at the weekend, who are second from bottom. Now they've got to give them a spanking. I want a spanking. Spank their backsides. I want their bum cheeks to be red raw. Spank them, whip them like never before. This is the chance now to really step it up against a team I believe they beat 4-1 or 4-0 in the same game last season. So they really should be going there and getting a win. No more drop points, a big performance, lots of goals. Let's get it back on track. Give Aldershot a spanking. Wrexham's first defeat of the season was at Grimsby. Very disappointing that. They were well beaten. But they responded with a great win at home against Dagenham. Dagenham were flying at the time. They're still flying. And it was a brilliant win for Wrexham. Maybe a bit lucky, but a great result. They really dominated that first half. They took Dagenham apart. Maybe perhaps they didn't create as many chances as they should have. But a brilliant early goal from Mullin. Typical Mullin again. So composed, so cool, so calm. And a brilliant finish with his left foot. Curled it right into the goal. The keeper had no chance. The keeper didn't move. And a brilliant start by Wrexham in a game they had to do well in. It was a chance for them to really lay it down, to really show people what they're made of and to live up to the hype. And they did that in the first half. Total dominance. Second half was a different story. It was all Dagenham. Dagenham came into it and they should have scored. Robinson missed a sitter. All he had to do was hit the target and a goal. McCallum had two great chances at the back post, two headers. He should have scored at least one. It was a brilliant day, great atmosphere, a really good game, great response by Wrexham to the Grimsby defeat, but it was a lucky win in the end. Great result, everyone was buzzing, but I think fortunate. Dagenham should have got something. On another day they would have scored. And once again, a slender lead by Wrexham. Only one goal could have cost them. Nearly cost them against Woking, cost them against Grimsby. They took the lead against Grimsby and then ended up losing. But they got away with it against Dagenham. Great results, but I think a bit lucky overall. This is what Phil Parkinson had to say after Dagenham. I'm very pleased with the win. I thought first half was as good as we've played. We've got to kill teams off in those periods when we are so dominant. We threaten the back three, give better service to our front players, and when we did that, they looked like they were going to produce. Second half, Dagenham obviously came into it. I think they're a good side, a team which gets better in second halves. Phil Parkinson's comments after Dagenham. In this week's Humphrey Ker column, he obviously looks at the Dagenham match and is pleased with the way they responded after Grimsby, but is also a special mention for the fans and how the fans lifted the players. Magnificent crowd again, over 8,000. And he talks about the power of the fans lifting the players. He said you could feel the support having an effect on Dagenham. They were shocked by the support. And he wants to make the racecourse a bastion of invincibility, to quote Bill Shankly. And obviously the fortress that he made Anfield back in the 60s and 70s. But Wrexham have always had a great crowd, always had great support, and it's great to see it going to another level. That will continue, and it's going to have an impact on away teams and hopefully a positive impact on the Wrexham players. Get them over the line when needed, as it did against Dagenham. He also mentions the current job vacancies at the racecourse, and the club still has many vacancies to fill, from stewards, bar staff, and at time of recording head of ticketing and accounts assistant. Now, if you're interested, get involved. He wants you involved in this journey. It's a great journey. You know, for me, it's better to be on the outside commenting. You know, I don't want to be too compromised by, you know, working for the club. I like to be independent. But for you guys out there, see what's available. Get involved, become a steward, work behind the bar, help out the club. A fantastic experience, and, you know, fantastic opportunities to get involved with Wrexham behind the scenes. Give it a look. And for me, the most important issue in this week's column is the 87th anniversary of the Gresford Colliery disaster. The 87th anniversary of the Gresford Colliery disaster, which was remembered with a minute's silence before the Dagenham game to remember the victims. The 22nd of September 1934. That date is on the back of the away shirt, 1934, where 266 men were killed in this tragedy and only 11 bodies were recovered. They closed the mine off, which meant 255 people were left in the closed mine and their bodies were never ever recovered. That adds even more to the tragedy. But, you know, Wrexham is a coal mining town. It's an industrial town, as I've said before. Bersham Colliery is 200 yards away, just over there. You know, and we remember this disaster well. I mean, we reflect on it in this community. It's who we are, and it's what attracted Rob McElhenney to Wrexham. He comes from a similar background, and coal mining and blue collar communities are so important to Rob McElhenney and so important to Wrexham. You know, we never forget things like this. It's so important to who we are. Wrexham lost their second game of the season away to Stockport County, 2-1. I mean, what a setback after such a big win against Dagenham, and this was a missed opportunity. I'm going to start with the comments from Phil Parkinson here. We got a great start. I thought we controlled the first half and was pleased with the way we went about our business. We had lots of chances to score but didn't take them. We're hugely frustrated in ourselves and for our travelling supporters who came in their numbers that we haven't headed the ball out of our box in the first 5 minutes of the second half. That kind of changed the momentum and the feeling in the stadium, and the goal is too easy to concede. But there was no way we should have lost that game. We've controlled it for long periods, but it's so frustrating because we've given a team who are lacking confidence a massive lift. And his comments reflect the reaction to this. People are stunned. They're trying to work out what has gone wrong again. Such a dominant first half, taking the lead again very early on, and it's just, you know, an autopsy taking place. People are reacting, you know, to this with horror, with shock, with frustration. Again, on the back page of the Leader, we let them get back in it. You know, Stockport were a team for the taking. A promotion rival, second favourites for the league behind Wrexham at the start of the season, and they got off to a bad start themselves. Very inconsistent, very vulnerable, big spenders, but it hasn't clicked for them either at the moment. And last season Stockport beat Wrexham 3-0 both times. Far better team last year, far stronger in both matchups. And this was Wrexham's chance, not in terms of in the build-up to the game, but during the game. They'd taken an early lead. They were so dominant again in that first half. They were better in that first half than they probably were against Dagenham. A lovely goal again from Mullen. So composed, so cool. He's like a cucumber. I might call him the cucumber. Will it stick? I don't know. Worth a try. Because he's so cool and calm, and he finishes with such composure. And it's like ice in his veins. But he had other chances that he didn't take, and that proved costly. Because in that second half, just after the break, Stockport scored at just the right time. Just the right time to make a difference. A corner that was awfully defended. It should have been cleared. A free header for Madden. And that goal gave Stockport the lift they needed. But Stockport's winner was easily avoidable. I mean, awful defending. It started from a Wrexham attack. But Wrexham weren't caught on the counter. They weren't vulnerable. They had enough players back to prevent this goal. But Stockport were allowed to get a cross in. Madden at the back post again, unmarked. Nobody had followed him. Nobody had tracked him. Had gone with him. And he was able to put a ball in the box that wasn't cleared. Wrexham had multiple chances to clear the danger, and Stockport eventually scored. And it really is a setback. Big support again, travelling away, sold out in an hour, 1,700 tickets. Everyone is again so disappointed and just doesn't understand what is happening at times. They're not playing the full 90 minutes. It's hard to keep it up for a full game. And the half-time seems to sort of work against Wrexham. It's taking them out their stride. It's knocking the momentum out them. And teams are coming back into the second half. But Wrexham are not taking the chances when they're dominant. 1-0 is never good enough. And it's proven to be the case in the last two away games. And they need to score more goals. Wrexham seriously need to start scoring more goals. They need 2s and 3s to make these games safe. Certainly when they're dominating. Because Stockport was a chance that's gone begging. They should have won this game. Stockport 2, Wrexham 1. A real disappointment. For this week's Wrexham question, I'm going to ask, are you concerned with Wrexham's start to the season? 12 points out of 24, 9th in the table. It was expected to be much better than this. Yes, a new squad. Yes, takes time to gel, but should they be doing better? Are you concerned? Are you happy to let things play out, or do you want immediate success? Are you worried that the playoffs are going to become a dogfight that you never expected? Is promotion going to be too difficult and you expected much better? Again, are you concerned with Wrexham's start to the season? Let me know your thoughts on this. Tweet us, comment on YouTube. Wherever you see this video, let me know your thoughts on this question. Now for this week's big story, it's a celebration. Because we've just celebrated the first anniversary of Ryan Reynolds' interest in buying Wrexham. September the 23rd last year was the day that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's interest in a potential takeover was made public. We'd heard rumours that somebody wanted to buy the club. We'd heard rumours, it was made known there was interested buyers. But on Wednesday, September the 23rd, 2020, the names of those involved were made public. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. And funny enough, exactly the same day that I had this picture of the turf delivered. I had this picture delivered to me on that morning, and then on the evening the news was made public. And I'll admit, I was sceptical. I said I'd rather put my trust in Bruce Reynolds. Now, for those of you who don't know Bruce Reynolds, he was one of the great train robbers, and I was wrong, because they have delivered big time. Both Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have delivered in terms of their investment, financial investment, and their commitment to the club, their connections, their global sort of the exposure they've brought. And I think they're serious. They're obviously serious, because they knew what they didn't know. So they brought in the right people, they brought in the right staff, and they've listened, and you know, they've delivered. This has been a roller coaster, it's been a fairy tale, it's dreamland. We've been through all these before, and they've delivered big time in every way. Commercially, been massive sponsorships. You know, they're committed, they're interested, they participate in promoting the club. You know, they really have delivered on every level. I was wrong. It's fantastic what they're doing. They really do have the club and the town at their heart, and the club and the town in their best interests. They're not here to screw us over. They're here to do a fantastic job, and they do care, and they are passionate. They've fallen in love with Wrexham, they've fallen in love with the club, and it's brilliant for the club and the region. And hopefully Wrexham can get it together on the pitch, and it's going to be fantastic. But even still, what's happened to the club and the town is just fantastic and amazing. Both Ryan and Rob have delivered. A year since their interest was made public. Happy anniversary, guys. Great stuff. But cheers, guys. Thank you for watching the latest episode of WrexhamMania. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel and keep supporting, and I'll see you soon.